Hello, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jody, and this is Word on the Web. And today we're visiting with Doug Dahlberg with Sleep and Heavenly Peace. This is a nonprofit that we got introduced to because Clenera, a local company in Boise, is sponsoring 2 of our family suites at our new shelter home.
Yeah.
And the way that they're doing that is they partner with Doug of Sleep and Heavenly Peace to have beds made that will then be brought to our shelter. And when I got to meet you and to see what you did, I was so fascinated, and Nathan was so fascinated. We thought, oh my gosh, we have to let our viewer listeners know all about you. So can you let them know what Sleep and Heavenly Peace is?
Absolutely. So Sleep and Heavenly Peace is a national organization throughout mainly the United States. But each, in many of those cities, we have a chapter. So for instance, this is the Boise chapter, and we cover the Boise and surrounding area. What our goal is to deliver a bed so that no kid sleeps on the floor in our hometown. So we work with corporations and other charities to donate money. We physically build beds here, as you can see from our background, where we take raw lumber, put it through a manufacturing process with the volunteers, and build headboards and ultimately beds that we then deliver to the children. When we deliver those beds, we deliver them with the bedding, with the quilts, pillows, and also a handmade quilt from other donation organizations locally.
And the why of this, you know, the idea about a child sleeping on the floor and not in a bed of their own, is that what inspired the formation of this nonprofit?
Yeah, it really did. What happened is on a Christmas one year, a family got together and built a couple beds and just put them on their end of their driveway and said for free, and they were gone the next day.
Yeah.
So they kind of turned it into a little bit of tradition, and they realized, they started looking into it. And if you look at it, any population that or given population that you look at, about 3 to 5% of the children in that population do not sleep on a bed. And so Sleep in Heavenly Peace was found for that reason, to make sure that we do have kids that are sleeping on bed, because many studies show, and I think if you've ever slept on a couch or anything, you don't get a good night's sleep.
Right.
You wake up the next morning, you're a little grumpy, you're not really focused. By getting kids into a bed, it gets them better sleep. They perform better in school. They perform better just as a society.
Yeah. Up off the ground and
Absolutely.
and soft space to,
A soft, safe place.
Yeah, place to
sleep.
sleep. Yeah, good night's sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, at the end of the day, like sinking into my bed after like whatever the day is held, I mean, that's kind of like where you begin your restorative process. And so a child not actually having the ability to climb into what is their bed,
Absolutely.
it must be such a game changer. And so with this particular nonprofit, it's all volunteer based. And where are you getting your volunteers from?
So we get our volunteers and our community, or from the local community, and we also get the funding from that. So a lot of the times what we'll get is corporations that'll come in and volunteer not only manpower, but also a monetary donation for them. And they'll supply the materials to build the bed, and they'll supply the people for us to teach them how to build the bed.
And they're coming right here, and they're
coming
building
to
the
this
beds
facility
right here.
Yep.
And then, so you have groups that come, you teach them how to
Exactly.
assemble the beds. The wood, is it cut already? Are they cutting the wood? Like, how's
Nope.
all that happening?
So we have a lot of really strong partnerships. One of them on a national level is with Lowe's, and Lowe's gives us a very good pricing on some of our wood.
Nice. Right.
But we do end up, with raw wood from that standpoint. So we go through a cut phase. We sand down the wood so that we're not, getting any slivers or anything. We show people how to manufacture and build the headboards and assemble the headboards from that standpoint. And then the last thing we do is we actually dip stain each of these headboards, and then we brand the SHP logo on them.
I
for
love
us.
the brand so much.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
which is also
so
really a lot
cool.
of fun, especially for the younger kids, because it's
Yeah.
actually a real brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're playing
So
with
the
fire and hot.
burning,
Oh, yeah.
the smoke, the
And
smell.
A lot of fun.
And so clearly, like, every step of this, like, anybody can learn pretty
Absolutely.
quickly.
Everybody can learn. We'll teach you how. We'll even rotate you around to different locations. The other thing that we've really gotten feedback on is we're one of the few volunteer organizations where you actually take part in not only the build, but you actually get to go out and meet the client. So
nice.
a lot of times we'll have donations or people that will donate their time to go out and do deliveries, where we actually go into the physical house and set the beds or the bunk beds up, make the bed, a lot of times with the child involved.
Oh, that's so
That's awesome.
great.
And that's
Yeah.
the first time that child's probably ever slept on a bed.
That's amazing. I mean, for us as like a shelter, like the goal is always to get someone into their own home sweet
Yeah.
home. And since
Yeah.
we've met Doug, that's kind of his promise to us is if we get housing for our families with children, he will make sure that they each have a bed when they get into their new home. And that is not often the case. You know,
Not often.
sometimes the families do get housing, but there's not the supportive services wrapped
Right.
around it. And so oftentimes they're literally moving into an empty space.
Yes.
And so between being able to work with you and the new nonprofit Furnishing Hope,
Yeah.
it really will ensure that no family will move into their new home sweet home without the basic needs, which are beds and a kitchen table and chairs and things like that. So it is so important to be able to create a space that feels like home.
Feels like home and is up off the floor.
Up off the floor,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's a good time to show this.
no,
No kid sleeps on the floor in
yeah.
our town.
Yeah, that
right?
is so awesome.
just-
And that is
Here in the
our
studio.
national motto.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and we were excited to be able to have you be on this show and also to introduce our audience to you because we know our audience. They're the ones who are worrying as much as
Absolutely.
we are about the well-being of the people who are currently experiencing homelessness. We really want to lift your organization up. I actually really want to be a volunteer and build a bed. So I think
Happy to help.
Clinera is going to let me come with them.
Good.
Nice.
But we will have all the information, how to get to the website, how to scroll down to either donate or to sign up for a build, to learn more about the chapter. And we are just thrilled to have you as a new partner for the new year.
And I should mention, as you go out to the website, it is a geolocator website. I mentioned, we're talking about Boise today, but we are a national organization. So if you're in a location other than Boise, just go to our website. It will find the nearest chapter for you.
That's good because this podcast has a national audience.
Well, quite honestly, it's got an international.
International.
Yes, and we're trying to get international someday.
We did get a fan letter from Germany. Germany might not be
We
a
see
chapter
you.
there yet, but we see you, and we'll let you know if anyone
Well,
starts a chapter there.
Someday.
Yeah,
I love
someday.
what you said though, that there's so many ways to participate.
Absolutely.
Monetarily, right? If it's not in you to come build a bed and participate in dip staining and all of that sort of
Yes.
thing, money is always welcome. And then there's an opportunity to do the work.
Yes.
Come here and do the
So
work.
when you do go to the website, there's really 3 ways you can get involved. And the best way to do it is just get involved in some way,
Yeah.
right, in anything.
Yeah.
So it'll go through, the first thing you'll see is an application for a bed, so the children can apply for the bed.
Yeah, I didn't
Right.
even think about that part. But like, if you do need a bed,
Yes.
if you also this is the place to go. Like, you can sign up, and if you don't have a bed for your child, you can sign up and get a bed for your child through
Yes.
Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
Yeah,
Hadn't
it's
even
great.
thought about
Yeah.
that.
So there's the application on there, there's a donation page on there, and there's multiple ways to donate monetarily. And then there's really just a volunteer organization. So, if you want to volunteer locally for building a bed or delivering a bed, do that. And then finally, if you don't see the answer to that, hit the contact us, and that'll
Yeah.
go to the local chapter president, and we'll get in touch with you and find out how we can help you.
Yeah.
Great.
perfect. What about the bedding and the quilts and the sheets, that part?
So
part
a lot
it?
of things, again, another way to get involved is to do a bedding drive. So everything that we deliver to the child and deliver to the house is brand new. So it's a bed in a bag. You can do a bedding drive to collect bedding at your church or maybe a local community event and donate it to your local SHP chapter.
Okay.
The handmade quilts, we have a lot of quilting organizations locally that they just love to make quilts.
Yeah.
And they make so many quilts,
Yeah.
they can't use them all
Can you-
I
themselves.
love that organization.
Can you speak to that, Jason? Nathan,
They do
can you
great.
tell Doug a little bit about what you do as a hobby?
I love to piece quilt.
Absolutely.
And
How many do
yeah.
you make a month, Nathan?
Well, I did one a month for a year as a challenge for myself. Which
Yeah.
feels like I could take it up a notch.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
I could put you in touch with some of our local
Right.
quilting groups too.
Right.
Yes.
Well, it gets better because I don't know if you know, but every year the fair has quilting competitions.
Yeah.
And you're sitting next to the blue ribbon winner.
Well, there you
It
have
seems
it.
to me
That
that
is-
maybe we could get some Nathan quilts for our
Yep.
Sleep in Heavenly
Yeah.
Peace beds at the new shelter.
They're tax
That-
deductible.
Wink,
And
wink.
tax deductible. That's
Yeah.
why I had to know.
Yes, we
how,
are.
How do we connect?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are.
I see a beautiful relationship forming
Yeah.
right before my eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come to your shop of beds for babies, and it's just delightful.
It smells so good in here. It's a
It-
homing feeling for me. My dad did woodworking growing up, so the basement always had a smell of.
That's the reason I got involved too, is I
Yeah.
enjoy woodworking and I don't have a project outside of this, so it's good.
Yeah.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
should definitely come when it's humming. When we get 20 to 50
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
in
when the
here
garage door's
and
open
everything's
and-
just cutting and sanding and drilling. And
Sawdust
Yeah.
flying.
it's just a
We'll
blast.
be there. Maybe we could do
It's
an-
a dirty blast.
I
but
think
it's a
we should
blast.
do an interface sanctuary build
That'd
where
be
we could maybe
so
bring
awesome.
some guests to help make beds
Oh,
too.
that'd be great.
We could do that once we get settled into the new shelter. That will be
Yeah.
great because service is part of their job training program.
Yeah.
And so being able to make beds would make them feel very, very
That would
good.
be great.
Yeah.
Participate in what you're benefiting from.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Love it.
Well, what a delight.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you
fun.
so much.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
So educational. Thank you.
A lot
Yeah.
of fun. A lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Until next time, please send in your questions. If you have any questions for Doug and you didn't get all the captions below, just email us and we'll make sure to connect you. And yeah,
Yep, I think that's a wrap.
I know. It's a wrap.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Sleep in heavenly peace.